Hey, sweeties, and welcome to Tea and Talk, a self-development podcast. I'm your host, Taffia Stokes. You know, they say a woman is like a cup of tea. You can't tell her strength until you put her in hot water. Well, the water is hot, sis, so let's see your strength. Grab your tea and get comfortable, and join me as I get into it on this episode of Tea and Talk. Hello, sweet teas, and thank you for joining me on another episode of Tea and Talk. I hope you enjoyed your weekend and are coming into this week with a clear mind. I wanted to talk about shame this week and how we carry the shame of others a lot of the time. As women, we carry so much shame around with us every day from all the different stages and seasons we experience in our lives. Most of the time, the shame we carry is in instances where we shouldn't be. Most of the time, the shame is actually the burden of someone else. This just seems to be our nature as women. We go through every day trying to push down our feelings, our emotions, flipping our hair back, putting on that cape, and putting that S on our chest. Carrying everything for everyone leaves little or no room to carry the shit that we need to for ourselves. We carry shame in instances where we have been victimized, something we had no control over, and yet we feel shameful. For instance, when we are treated poorly by a loved one, or when we are physically, mentally, and emotionally abused by a spouse, we carry the shame. We have to understand that in those circumstances, the shame is not ours to carry. The individual who harmed or hurt, it's their weight, their burden to hold and carry around on their backs. We have to stop allowing ourselves to carry their burden for them because we do nothing but make it more difficult and heavy for ourselves and lighter for them. Put that shit down. We carry the shame when someone says something wrong. We may have nothing to do with the situation. For example, if you are black and someone who is also black mistreats a waiter or a cashier, if we are there, we may apologize for that person. Just because you are black and they are black doesn't mean you are one and the same, and yet you feel the shame and carry it. We are all individuals regardless of what our religion, ethnicity, sex, gender, or nationality is. Stop seeing yourself as part of them and start seeing yourself as an individual. We carry the shame of a stigma or a prejudice. For instance, black women. It is just now becoming societal norm for us to be able to seek therapy from our hurt, pain, and trauma. Prior to this, we would carry shame for feeling the way we felt because the stigma was that black women don't talk about these feelings outside of the home. So on top of walking around with the weight of our depression, our anxiety, we were now forced to hide those things, wear a mask, and put those feelings deeper and deeper, causing the wounds to fester even more. When we felt anything that wasn't strength or happiness, we felt shame for feeling our feelings. How fucked up is that? Shame for our own feelings because of a damn stigma. Sis, if you need help, get it. If you need healing, seek it. You have to live with your thoughts and feelings, and you need to be at peace with those thoughts, feelings, and yourself. Fuck a stigma. We feel shame when our values and morals are different than those around us. We don't fit in with the majority. I'm here to say that we aren't supposed to. We are supposed to stand out, speak out, and have our own minds. Stop trying to fit into the box and feeling shame when you don't. Fuck that box. Start being proud of who you are. Let your most authentic self shine bright. We feel shame for saying no. We set boundaries to protect our peace, and we may not be at that stage yet where it is comfortable. So that discomfort takes the shape of shame. We feel guilty for saying no, guilt for setting boundaries, guilty for protecting our energy, and guilty for protecting our peace. I am telling you, sis, right now that none of that stuff is yours to carry. Drop your shoulders, and in the same motion, drop all that extra baggage. Let those people carry their own shit. There's only one bag that can go in the overhead compartment, and it needs to be your own. You need to make sure that you have all the essentials on this journey. So in the words of my sister from another mister, Erykah Badu, pack light, sis. Stop being the damn bag lady and pack light. The lighter you pack, the further you'll go and the faster you will propel. This is your life and no one else's. Don't you dare change for anyone else. Reevaluate everything. Remember, there's a lesson in everything. So what is the universe trying to teach you? Shame is a prison trying to shut you out and lock you down from moving forward, being your best self, and living your best life. Don't be an inmate to this dark and cold prison. For years, I kept my endometriosis diagnosis and struggled to have children to myself. This was because this wasn't something that was talked about in my family. I felt so ashamed that I was that one who had difficulty having a child, while the other members of my family were able to get pregnant with ease. I felt ashamed, and instead of telling others about my experience, I held on to it. As my son Tyson grew, I started to realize that my story can help so many other women. I started the Endo Chapter Team Syracuse Worldwide Endo March and wrote my book, Grow Through It, and got so much great feedback. My story was to help me gain strength and resilience, but also to help other women who also had no voice or were ashamed just like me. I had to learn that there was nothing to be ashamed of. The universe was using me and teaching me. From that journey, I gained strength, resilience, and a voice. My story has helped hundreds and has continued to do so as I have been telling it more and more. My story wasn't meant to be the same as the females in my family because the universe needed to use me for something bigger. To help those going through the same or similar issues. To be a voice for those who were afraid to speak up and to seek change for those who suffered like I did. That shame I carried wasn't really mine. It was the shame that I thought others inside and even outside my family would have because of my struggle. So again, I say, pack light. You can't fly high with the shame of others weighing you down. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Tea and Talk. Stay tuned every Monday for new episodes. If you love Tea and Talk, be sure to give a rating and your feedback at the end of this episode. Want more Tea and Talk? Join the Tea Party VIP group. Click the link in the description of this episode to learn more. I'm excited to talk to you all next week. So until next time, love and light.